Hello and welcome back to our Saturday yoga. Today we are going to focus on transitions, and not just transitions in our shapes, but also meditating a little bit on the transitions in our lives as we go from a different season, as we go into kind of a more summer schedule and how that changes, and just any transitions that we've had at work or at home as some COVID restrictions in places are lifting. So there's a lot changing around us, and that's probably having an impact inside us as well. It certainly is for Penny over here. Yes, good girl. So anyway, we're going to get to our mats. We're going to do two different flows today. And just noting that with the flow, it's one transition to another in this chain of shapes and movement and breath, and that we never really arrive anywhere. We sort of smoothly roll through all of them, not trying to achieve a certain peak pose or pinnacle effort level, but maybe just sort of steadily pressing along and through until the sequence is over. So let's give it a try. Let's come onto our mat. Let's start in a child's pose. So any child's pose that you like. You can have your knees open, big toes touching, sending the hips back, or you can just have the knees and ankles in the same line. Take an inhale to get length through the spine and an exhale to melt down towards the floor. Feel the connection of your head on the mat or on a block or a pillow, stabilizing you, connecting you with the earth. And allow your breath to be a little heavy, long, and slow. On an inhale, you're going to reach your right arm forward a little more. Maybe you can walk the fingers like a fraction of an inch. Breathe into the right ribs, and then exhale, melt. And same on the left side. Next inhale, stretching through the left fingers. Exhale, melt. Try this a few more times, getting length in the side body as well as in between the vertebrae. Inhale, reach. Exhale, melt. Nice and slow. Good. And just when you have done a couple on each side, allow yourself to come back to stillness and return to the breath. Noticing that the breath, when you're inverted like this, wants to fill in the upper rib cage rather than the belly, and just be aware of where the breath is landing in your body. Inhale, lift the gaze, tent up on your fingers. Exhale, walk the fingers to the right. Find that stretch and melt. On your next inhale, prop up on those fingers, walk past center. Find length on the left side and melt again. Inhale, prop up, come back to center. One more stretch, one more melt. And then at the bottom of your exhale, you're going to breathe in deeply into your belly and begin to lift into your tabletop position. Whew, square those knees under your hips. Good. If you want to take any movement, any cat or cow here, feel free to take a couple seconds to bring in any movement that works for you. Warming up the spine, maybe warming up the wrists a little bit, or the toes. Just an unguided warm up. Gently make your way back to a still tabletop position. Breathe in deeply, lifting the right arm up. Exhale, transitioning into your thread the needle, arm underneath left elbow. And feel free to take any version of this that you want. If you want to walk the left fingers forward, get a little stretch. Some like to lift that left arm in the air and maybe drop it around towards the right thigh in a little bit of a bind. Again, you're not arriving to any peak version. You're just doing what feels right. Experimenting or playing around with different motions until you find what works. Big exhale out. Next inhale, lift that right arm again. And exhale, plant it back on the floor. Let's take a round of cat and cow. One more round. And coming back into your still tabletop. Inhale, left arm high in the sky. Exhale, it reaches underneath that right arm as you thread the needle and take any version that you like on this side. Oh, this dog's bones smell so bad. Penny, penny. Again, play around with different options that feel right in your body, and then just pick one. Pick one to try for the day. One more inhale. Big sigh, exhale. Emptying out. Then the next inhale, lift the left arm high. And exhale, lowers it to the ground. Good. Take a round or two of cat and cow. I put so much sunscreen on today, and now it's like drying on my arm hair. I keep thinking there's like a bug on me. Nope, it's just my own body saying, you should shower very soon. Good. Excellent. And let's try, this is a little bit of a core activating wave of the body that we're going to try. So you're going to plant the hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, hover the knees just above the ground. Excellent. Then you're going to lift the hips like you're going in downward dog, send them back, plant your forearms on the ground, knees come on the ground. So you're in this like almost tabletop, but forearms are down, hips are back. And then you're going to press your heart through until your elbows have to come up. Whew. Feel free to try that again. It's a lot of different things. So you lift the knees slightly, send them back. Knees lower, forearms lower, heart comes through until the elbows have to lift. Whew. Feel free to try that one more time if you want. It's a lot of different activation at once. You're gonna lift the knees just enough to send the hips back. Lower the knees, lower the forearms, glide that chest through. Oh gosh. And come on back to a child's pose from whatever version of that you were in. Remember, we're not trying to be perfect, but rather increase our tolerance of imperfection. Increase our ability to say, I've done enough. This is good. I'm fine right here. And then on an inhale, come on back. Tabletop. And inhale, press the right heels back. Square the hips. The tendency is that right hip is going to want to come up in the air. Good. And then you're going to lift that heel in line with your hip. Deep breath in, trying to draw the lower ribs in towards the spine a little bit, as well as squaring the hips. This can be very intense. And we're going to bend that right knee. Take a breath. Feel the glutes firing up. Gosh, bugs everywhere with spring. Good. And then a couple pulses. Flexing the top foot, pushing the floor away with the arms. Gaze at the top edge of your mat. Good. Inhale here. Exhale, turning out the right knee. You might hear some pops and cracks. Send that knee towards elbow. Inhale, press it back. Exhale, crunch knee towards elbow. Inhale, press it back. Last one. Feel the engagement of the glutes, belly button pulling towards spine. And then square the hips again. Point that foot and gently plant that knee down. Excellent. Let's begin to tuck the toes and bring the hips into small circles. Woo. There go all of my bones cracking. Take 2 or 3 in one direction and then change direction. Ooh, good. And then we find our way back into our tabletop position, hands under elbows, index fingers pointing front, pressing that L of the hands really into the mat. Inhale, press the left leg straight back, toes tucked, square the hips. Again, we're not trying to open the hips yet. Square them down. Take a deep breath. Exhale, drawing in the ribs, begin to lift the left heel. Feel all of that work in the front body. The belly button pulling upward towards the spine, the ribs drawing a little closer together in the front so that the tendency to collapse is being resisted by your very active effort. Bending that left knee, trying to keep that activation in the front body. Begin to pulse, pulse, pulse. Flexing that left toe. Keep breathing. Nice and steady. On an inhale, turning out that left knee to the left side. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, send it back. The slower, the more mindful. The slower you will really feel everything that's going on. Take one more. Send it back. Whew. Square those hips again. One more drawing in of the front body. Point that toe. Gently glide it down. And let's open the knees as wide as the mat. Bring the toes to touching. Same thing. A couple little circles of the hips to the right. When you've done 2 or 3, reverse your rotation. Oh yeah. Nice and smooth. Excellent. And we are going to begin to prepare for our first flow. So let's come on back to our tabletop. We're going to walk the palms forward a smidge, tuck those toes, and rise up nice and high, downward facing dog. Take any movement here that ultimately helps you arrive in your shape. Ooh, shapes. Yeah. Penny can do downward dog. Right, Penny? She's totally ignored me. Okay. And let's take 3 very intentional breaths here. It's sometimes very hard to breathe in downward dog because you're so, lopsided or inverted, compressed. So let's take a breath in, try to reach your belly, and big sigh out. If you have allergies like me, it's okay to breathe through your mouth. Big sigh, make a little noise. Last one, the biggest of all. Fill the lungs and then fill them even more. And full release. Empty completely. Keep emptying. Wonderful. We're going to shift onto the balls of our feet. Lift those hips high in the sky. Begin to walk on our demi point, our tiptoes, to the front of the mat. Feet hips width distance apart. Bend those knees deeply. Let it go. It's like just like vomit down. You can reach opposite elbows if that feels nice and good. You can give yourself a little like shimmy. Some people like that. I kind of like the shimmy, but never do it in class because I feel like it's just it attracts some like gaze. It attracts like some interesting attention. I'm like, oh. However, you're in your own home. Do whatever feels good. Maybe I should start setting a trend of shimmying in class. Be like, I'm in my own practice here. If you have not already released the neck so the head hangs heavy and loose, please do. And if you have, release it even more. Begin to root through the feet. Take a breath at the bottom. Exhale, ground through the feet. Roll up slow, slow, slow. Steady yourself. If you get lightheaded, open your eyes really wide and focus on a point. Inhale, arms up, up, up. Reach, victorious breath. And then exhale, push the air away on either side. And just find your mountain pose. God, I am like, just need to settle. Palms forward. Find your alignment. Shoulders back and down, relaxed. Chin just tucked enough so that it's not going up or down. Rooting through the feet. Energy starting at the feet. Maybe your eyes closed. All right, you're going to inhale, reach both arms up. Then you're going to reach for opposite elbows. And we're going to take 3 circles to the right and 3 to the left. They can be as big or small as you want. So to demonstrate, a small one, bending your knees, or a big one, bending your knees even more, going around. So begin to play. Take 3 or 4 circles, any size, shapes, and circles you want to make. And just allow yourself to glide. I really like this. I feel like I get a really nice stretch all around my body, very 3-dimensionally, but I never kind of get stuck in a static stretch. Everything keeps flowing. The muscles still activate to keep you moving. You can really feel the blood circulating. When you've done 3 or 4, shake it out a little bit. How do you feel? So let's get into our flow sequence, shall we? We're going to start at the top of our mat. Bend our knees, feet hip-width distance apart. Reach on up, nice and tall. Find the space between the vertebrae, and then we fold. Halfway lift. And we fold again. Bend those knees, step 1 foot back, then the other, and find whatever chaturanga works for you. Perhaps knees for now. And we meet in downward facing doggo. Downward facing Penny. Penny's not my dog, but I wish she were. Wonderful. We're going to root through the left toes. Inhale, lift the right foot. Exhale, send shoulders over wrists, knee towards nose, cobra. Ooh. Take 1 more breath. Exhale, launch that leg in between the hands as best you can. That one is a challenge. Don't fear not. And when you are ready, when you feel your hips square, your feet firm, you're manipulating the floor with those big toes, begin to rise the body off the leg. Inhale, crescent lunge. Hey. Again, same thing with that slight drawing in of the ribs. You can have a slight bend in the back knee as well as a deep bend in the front. And we are going to move 3-dimensionally as well. So we're going to use the side of the mat, then we're also going to face the back, face the other side. So just bear with me as we do this. Inhale long, 1 more breath. Exhale, you're going to send the arms down on the inside of that right leg. And begin to walk hand over hand to the middle of the mat, facing the back. You might have to either just listen to my voice or turn around so you can see. Hands are on the floor in front of you. Toes are pointing in front of you. Take a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Wide-legged fold. Good. Good. If you want to have a slight bend in your knees and bring a little bit of motion to this, feel free. Otherwise, your body is fairly still, but the breath allows an expansion and a release, a stretch and a melting that kind of flows through your body even as you hold strong in the pose. Excellent. 1 more breath. 1 more full emptying exhale. Belly button towards spine. I'm going to lift halfway lift. Slight bend in the knees, hands to hips. Rise the body. Good. And then we're just going to turn the toes out, heels slightly inward. Goddess pose. So bend the knees. Hands can be at your hips. Shoulders back. I will turn to face you. You can do whatever feels good. Good. And you're just sending those hips low. Opening the heart out, gripping through all four corners of the foot, the feet. Whew. If you want to bring a little like dance to it, feel free. I find that actually harder. Whew, excellent. One more breath. Whew. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, straighten up. Toes point to the back of the mat. Forward fold, wide-legged forward fold again. And then we're going to walk hand over hand to the back side of the mat, turning those toes with you automatically so they're square. Both hands are on the inside of that left leg like a lizard. And then we're going to lower the back knee. Send the heart up. Lizard pose. Good. Allowing that inhale to bring stretch, lengthen, find space. Exhale, you melt into that newfound space. One more breath. Exhale. All right. So power move. Inhale, lift the back leg. Exhale, you're going to bring the back leg on the outside of the right hand. So you're in kind of a frog. Hands are in the middle. Toes point slightly out. As we sit on down, Malasana Yogi Squat. If your hips don't go very far down, that's okay. Just keep your hands where it's supportive. Wherever you are, try to send that heart out, shoulder blades towards each other. One more breath. Exhale, hands to the ground. Begin to lift the hips. Point the toes to the front. Take a breath. Exhale, bend the knees deeply. I'll face you so you can see. We're going to take our right hand under the right foot, left hand under the left foot. Bend those knees into your chest. Allow your head to be heavy. And then we begin to straighten a little bit. Ooh, I need to silence that. Good, your knees never need to be straight here. You're just endeavoring towards the ceiling with those hips. One more breath. Well done. Settle, settle, settle. Good, and then on your next exhale, carefully release your hands, bend your knees, roll up. You have done a lot of stretching in the hammies, so take it easy on the roll up. Whew. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, lower down. Well done. So now you're facing the other side of your mat. So the left side is going to look very similar with some slight changes, the slight modifications. All right, so take a breath, have a sip of water if you'd like. That's weird. My phone is silent, so I don't know why. Maybe it's Penny's phone. Was that your phone? Yes, it was. All right, so now we're sitting at what was formerly the back of our mat, but now it's, new perspective. Transitions. Now it's the front. Sometimes that happens in life. Take a breath. Feet, hips width distance apart, and let's flow. Bend your knees, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, melt down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, melt. Inhale, step one foot back and then the other, and find a chaturanga. And if not, just come into a downward dog whenever you are ready. Whew. Excellent. We're going to plant through the right foot, sending the right heel towards the ground. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose, cheetah pose. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, knee to nose, and eventually one or several steps. We step that leg in between, the foot in between the hands. Square the hips, feel stable in the feet. As we begin to rise, crescent pose. Left leg in front. Manipulate the floor with those big toe mounds so you can really grip. Inhale, tall. Exhale, hands come to the inside of the left leg. Walk hand over hand. Toes go with you, so both toes are pointing the same direction as your fingers. Out in front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Good. Gaze is either towards your belly button or just straight out beyond your knees. Inhale, find space. Exhale, melt. If you'd like blocks here, great idea. It can really help elongate the spine. One more breath. Full exhale. And inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, hands come to your hips as you rise up. I'm gonna face you, but you stay exactly as you are, or in a way that you can see me. So we just rose up, toes are now gonna point slightly out. Send the hips lower down, feel the knees pressing back, goddess pose. Option here to bring in some goddess arms, my gender neutral deity pose, ever you would like here. Some people like to do some movement, clasp their hands behind their back or reach for opposite elbows. Take a different shape in the upper body than you did before. I'm literally just cycling through some that come to mind, but you can extend the index finger. Doesn't that seem powerful? It's like I'm casting a spell to the sky. One more breath. Exhale, straighten up. Let it all brush out. Toes point back their original direction. Hands come down. You're going to walk hand over hand to the original front edge of your mat. Allow the toes to come with you. Hands on the inside of that right leg. Slight turn out of that right foot and find your lizard. So I like to drop that left knee. It really helps me to press the lower spine a little bit down. But you take whatever you like. Excellent. Now we're going to lift our right arm on the outside of our right leg, squaring the hips again, lifting the back leg as if we were going into a lunge. And we're going to bend the back knee, power step forward. We're going to step that left foot to meet the right. Gently lowering down next to the right foot, bend those knees, chair pose. Good, gaze down, make sure you can still see your toes. Try to send the shoulder blades down your back. 3, 2, you have this, so you're superstar. 1, and then exhale, straighten up, forward, fold. Feel free to bend your knees a little bit, reach for opposite elbows. Here, open your legs as wide as your shoulders if they're not already there. Bend your knees, use your peace fingers to reach around the big toe. Relax the head, relax the neck, and then same thing, you kind of pull the elbows out to the side as you send the tailbone up to the sky. Some people, this straightens their knees for them. Other people, it doesn't. As long as you feel the stretch, that's what we're going for. We're not going for a particular valuation of success or like achievement. You're going for a nice, healthy stretch. Allow the breath to be slow and deep. Can we slow it down here? If we can't, can we bend a little more, relax a little more? And then carefully release the hands, grounding through the feet, bending the knees, steady, roll up. Reach those arms up at the top and allow them to glide at your sides. Take a minute, take a stock of how you're doing. We kind of jumped right into fairly intense movement right away. So see how you're doing right and left. Good work. Flow number 2. Shake out anything that needs to be recalibrated, feet hip width distance apart, and let us flow. Reach your arms out now. Like so, any arms you like. Sometimes like to swan dive, like Pocahontas, all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, plant those hands. If you want to try to hop, feel free. Otherwise, just step those feet back. I always try to hop, but I always make like a noise, like I'm serving a tennis ball and I'm Serena Williams or someone professional. Like, hiya! And yeah, here we are. So find any chaturanga that you like. Knees, just chin, or no knees, whatever. or no chaturanga, and just meet us in downward dog. Whew, take 2 full cycles of breath. Intentional deep breath, resetting. This is your home base. If ever you need to drop to your knees, take a child's pose or an alternate pose, please do. This is your practice as much as it is mine. Pressing through the L of both hands. Gonna inhale, lifting the back of the right foot just a little bit. You're gonna send that knee towards your nose, coming high on that left heel. Step it in between like we did before. And then we're going to slightly turn out the left foot as we come into our warrior one. Again, if you're lightheaded, open your eyes wide, focus on a point, breathe deeply. Good. Can we draw the ribs in a little bit? Gentle tuck of the tailbone. Strength and energy out through the fingers. And then exhale, open wide into warrior two. So turning out that back toe so it points straight out, points to the left. Good. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. We're going to swing that left arm down and up, come back to your crescent lunge. And then we're going to press into that back leg. We're going to swing it forward. So get ready to launch left leg in front. Cross over right leg. Find an eagle variation. You can keep twisting that leg if you want. You can twist the arms. Woo! Whatever feels good to you. One more breath. Exhale, settle. Inhale, unwind whatever is wound. Step that left leg down. Arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, forward fold. Just hang here. If you'd like to move through vinyasa, now is your chance. You can plant your hands, step it back, move through your push-up. Otherwise, you can just plant your hands, step it back, and meet everyone in your downward facing dog. Well done. Take 2 rounds of intentional breath reset. The last side is already in the past. And we have a little bit of an idea of what's to come in the future. Deep breath in. Full sigh. Let it out. With some gusto. And we're going to keep the right foot down this time. Inhale, left heel lifts. Doesn't have to be very high. Shifting forward, knee towards nose. Find the cheetah pose. And in one, several, or kind of these squeegeeing steps, send that left foot in between. Back heel pressing towards back wall. Find your shape here. Find your stability. Find length in the spine. And once all of that is set up, your foundation is laid, we begin to rise. And I forgot we're doing warrior one. So turn. Okay, this must not be my phone then. Someone else's phone is in here. You're going to turn out that back foot ever so slightly. Reach the arms up. Warrior one. Shoulder blades down and back. Gaze forward and maybe a little bit lifted. These are all very victorious, triumphant, exalted poses. So send that energy from the ground up and out to the heavens above. Exhale, open wide, warrior two. So I just turned out that back foot. Inhale, surrender warrior, peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, you're going to bring that right arm down in front as we point the hips to the front edge of the mat, crescent lunge, and be ready to launch that right leg forward. Take whatever prep you need. Inhale and then exhale, whew. And then cross it over, bending that standing leg as well, taking any arms that feel right to you. Eagle pose. Inhale, length. Exhale, settle. Carefully unwind, keeping that slight bend in the standing leg. Step the right leg down and forward fold. We're gonna bend our knees and roll up one vertebrae at a time. I'm just gonna mute something on my, I'm wondering if the dinging is coming from my own laptop. Because when I lost my phone today, I set up message on my computer. Well, whatever, it's just a ding. All right, take a sip of water. Take the time you need. So we move into our final standing little sequence. I didn't call this one of the flows because it really only has two major components, but the transition from one to the other requires a lot of confidence. And trust me, your confidence might go out the window when you try this because it's a lot of balance, a lot of awkwardness, and that's on purpose. Just have, cultivate a little confidence that it's a-okay. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't really, all it matters is how you feel. And if you can laugh, that's a really good feeling. So we're gonna go from like a tree malasana sequence. I'm gonna do my best. So we are gonna face the long edge of our mat. And at first we're gonna find our humble tree. So left leg is gonna bear the weight, be the roots, and right leg is gonna come either to your ankle, to your, side calf, or, skipping the knee can help it along. Right there. There we go. Gently guiding that right knee towards the back. Breathe into either your very firmly planted 100-year-old oak tree, or maybe like your tree's more like a weed that has like one little root and the wind is like threatening to blow it right out. Either way, here you are planted. Feel free to grow some branches. Whew. And again, take any shape with the arms that you want. You can literally be a mermaid. You can I don't know, whatever. Like you can reach opposite, you can reach behind you. That one's always like, whoo. And here's one challenge option. Begin to lower the gaze, close the eyes. Notice that ankle doing so much work. It's really hard to stay balanced. So if you're really struggling with balance, feel free to bring your right leg a little lower, and you can just step it down when you lose your balance. Play around with your eyes open, your eyes closed for just a couple moments. And then open your eyes, come back to a tree that, that feels good. We're gonna inhale here. Exhale, step that right leg out. So you're in a little wider than shoulders distance. Turn out the toes, malasana. Inhale, step tree on the right side. Exhale, step it out, malasana. Ooh, try to keep those heels flat. And find a flow. Tree. Step it out, turn out the toes, malasana. Tree, and if you can, turn the legs in for the tree, great. Malasana. So this is a lot. Move slowly. Woo. And feel every transition. Feel yourself gliding. Before you sink too low, spring back up so that we don't compromise knees. Take one or two more each side. Oh yeah. Last one for me. And we're gonna end with tree pose, standing on the right leg, left leg is up, just as we began. Find your stability once more. Grow any branches, you can sway in the wind. Tree is such a nice place to play, to make mistakes, to really test limits. How far can I bend? And maybe we even try closing our eyes. One eye at a time, maybe. Ooh, take your time. And then exhale as gently as you can. Let it go. Well done. All right, let's come on back to the tops of our mats. Let's do one final vinyasa. Bend your knees, reach those arms out and up. It's the last one of class. Send all that energy up. Maybe you even want to lift the heels, or perhaps you want to do a slight little back bend. And then exhale, send it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale forward. Inhale, hop, step, or glide. Those feet back, you can see I'm preparing to hop, but I'm not sure if I'm mentally prepared. Shoulders over wrists. Try to lift those hips high, no matter which option you're taking. And once you move through your upward dog or your cobra, just drop the knees, send it back. Pose of the child. And take stock. We've now arrived on the floor. We've transitioned from a lot of standing, from a lot of being in the air, to being on the ground, to being rooted. Our risk of falling and wobbling is reduced. We are now supported. Inhale, come to a tabletop. I'm going to open my knees wide, cross my one ankle over the other, and just send my hips over. So I'm in a seated position. Feel free to face any direction you'd like. We're going to do a little bit of right, left, just to open our bodies. Right. So inhale tall. Exhale, we're going to extend the right leg, flexing the toe towards your face. Inhale, we're going to kind of hug the left leg in like you're cradling it like a little baby or a little puppy, little penny. Good. And then gently place the outer edge of the foot on the right thigh. The heel is kind of drooping off, the ankle is drooping off. Just play with that if it feels good. If not, if your knee is screaming to you right now, just do our more traditional. Send that foot to the inner edge of the thigh. If you like this kind of a little bit of juice, a little intensity, feel free to keep it here. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Take 3 to 5 breaths here. We're not going to do anything else. We're just going to find a little bit of flow in this stretch. Remember that expansive space. Inhale, melting on the exhale. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, we're going to bring that left foot to plant over the right leg. And then tucking in the left leg. A little twist prep. And inhale the right arm up. Exhale, twist to the left. It doesn't matter which side you go if you get mixed up right or left, because we're going to do both. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, left arm comes in front of the leg, right arm twists behind. Inhale up. Exhale, plant the hands. You're going to keep the right leg, the bottom leg exactly as it is, and you're going to swing the top leg behind and come into a little half pigeon. So you can use your hands to lift the hips, square the hips. Your leg is just extending long behind you. You can tuck or untuck the toes, find some lift. Exhale, forward fold. Same thing here. Inhale. Can we find space in our spine? Can we find mental space? So when we exhale, we can just settle, be present with the sensations of our body and our own sense of aliveness. Carefully plant your hands on the ground, roll your body up, send your hips off to the right as we swing that back leg forward and just give them a little shake out in the front. Sorry, Penny. Wonderful. So now we're going to keep the left leg extended, toes flexing towards the face, and the right leg, you can give it a little cradle. It just helps to open the hips here. And either just plant the foot down along the leg, along the floor, toes pointing out, or you can place the foot on top of that thigh, heel and ankle drooping off. It's a little awkward, but it can feel very nice sometimes when we're very open. Inhale, tall. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And then slowly rise up. You're going to help the right leg to step over the left. And then pull the left leg in. So now the left leg is drooped on the floor. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, twisting to the right. Really trying to press the shoulder blades together so that you're really twisting from the lower belly. Inhale, both arms up, center. Exhale, left hand drops behind, right hand against the leg, and push back with that leg. Create a little bit of a little resistance situation there. Twisting to the left. Inhale, both arms magically lift. And then exhale, you're going to help guide the top leg behind you. So the right leg is going behind. The left leg is in your pigeon prep, half pigeon. Square the hips. You can use your hands to get up. Also pillows. We've talked about this in a lot of the videos. Pillows, blocks, anything under your hips, knees that provides a little cushion, a little lift is awesome. Wherever you are, feel free to fold or stay wherever you're at. The final breath, see if you can settle a little bit more. Can you send relaxation or a sense of release to the hips? And then begin to press yourself up carefully. You're going to guide that back leg forward and you're going to come into a little bound ankle pose. Soles of the feet together, knees open wide. You can always rest them on something, especially if your hips feel a little exposed or a little vulnerable there. Rest on some blocks or on some pillows or a bunch of towels rolled up. These are the things that people bring to class because just experience has told them, like, hey, I need to bring these props since I need a bunch of rolled up towels and they don't have extras here. So just get whatever you need and don't hesitate to bring them to any yoga practice. These are your tools. That's what people do. They use tools, right? And if you would like, you can stay right here, sending the heart forward. I'm kind of gripping my ankles. Or you can begin to find a bit of fold, going slowly so that you identify your edge before you kind of charge past it. Nice and slow. One more breath here. Exhale, roll on up. We're going to come to our backs, tucking in those knees. Take a little rock forward and back or side to side. Really feels nice to have my shoulder blades flat against the ground. And I'm just bringing my knees into little circles. It's kind of massaging out my hip points in the back, like right above your butt. I'm massaging my butt right now on television. And whenever you are ready, you can send the soles of the feet down and then move through 2 bridges. So maybe the first one, you're just kind of getting used to it. And the second one, you have different goals. You're going to bring those heels a little close to your booty. Inhale to lower the belly towards the spine. Lift the hips. Maybe you want to even support them with your hands or slide a block underneath your lower back. Right by your lower back, there's like a flat plate right before your butt. That's a nice spot to rest a block. It's not really like on your spine. You're on this flat, bony area. And then exhale, roll down. Open your arms, windshield wiper your knees, right to left. This also feels like a massage in my butt. I must be really tight in the butt today. Maybe that's where I'm storing my tension. A lot of people store their tension in their shoulders. I just like stored it in my butt. I'm just like, oh, my butt hurts. Oh, what a day. What a Saturday. We're going to move into that one more time. Just flattening out my mat. So find your foundation in your feet. Find the foundation of the lower back pressing into the floor. Inhale, lifting that tailbone and let that kind of glide. Ride through your body. Heart shines up. If you'd like to kind of shimmy the shoulder blades underneath, you can Clasp your fingers, extend your index finger. Alternatively, you might want to play around with lifting a heel or two, or both. Come squeezing the thighs a little bit in. One more breath here. And then exhale, roll down. Whew. Well done. Arms out to the side. We're going to cross right leg over left. Allow the knees to drop to the left. Gaze over right shoulder. Bring it out. Make any adjustments that make this more comfortable. Comfort is key in a twist. And slowly on an inhale, begin to lift the legs, uncross the right. And exhale, cross the left over and allow the legs to droop to the right. Gaze over the left shoulder, maybe eyes closed. And then slowly on an inhale, begin to lift those knees, uncross the legs. And here you're invited to take any final pose. Play around a lot. Happy baby is a common one. Sometimes a shoulder stance is really nice here. There's nothing that you'd like to take. I encourage you to find a shavasana, but maybe a shavasana that isn't your usual. Maybe you want to roll over onto your stomach or be in a child's pose, or maybe have bound, like your feet touching, bound ankle pose in the lower half, knees open like a butterfly. Or maybe the opposite, feet on the outside of the mat, knees knocking in. Or perhaps the change is more subtle. Maybe you just want to change the position of your arms. Options, one hand over heart, one hand over belly, hands behind your head, or anything, maybe just wider arms. So just play around. Maybe you want to move through a couple versions, see how they land. And when something does stick, or you're like, I could do this for a few minutes, commit to it. Take a breath. Exhale, allow your eyes to close. No, well, bit of a disruptive lesson. You hang tight. Can I keep you going for 1 second? I'm doing a lot of this stuff, but it's over. I knew at 2 I had one thing coming. Sorry about that. So hopefully that wasn't too disruptive for you. Take your time in your shavasana. Resettle. Penny, you scared the life out of me. And I invite you to stay in this posture, in this shape, in your shavasana, as long as is restful and is restorative. I am bringing my hands to my heart in prayer. I'd like to thank you for your practice and your energy and your yoga and your life. Thank you for this community that we were able to foster and continue to foster together. And I'm grateful to be able to share and connect with each and every one of you, especially you, Penny. Namaste. I hope everyone has a good rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you very soon.